Hello, Ben. How are you?
Oh, you're on. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Thank you very much. Are you ready for 2026?
I'm ready. I'm ready. And we have a really interesting webinar today for you guys. And we're going to talk about the algorithm. We're going to see actually and present what the algorithm thinks about 2026. What are the best sectors? What are the best stocks to be in? And we're going to see the actual forecast for the following year, the 2026 forecast. And we also have a big surprise for you at the end of the webinar. We're going to show you which Magnificent Seven stock is the best for 2026 by the algorithm. And we have a lot of webinar sales and many other surprises. So stay tuned till the end of this webinar. Um, if you have any question during the webinar, please feel free to ask us through the Q&A options that you have in your Zoom, and we'll try to answer the majority of your question during the webinar and in the end of the webinar. So feel free to ask us anything. And we're gonna start in a few more minutes. I still see some coming still see some people joining us, so we'll wait one more minute and then we'll start. Meanwhile, you can write us in the Q&A which stocks you think is uh, gonna be the best in 2026. Write us in the Q&A, and maybe we'll see a forecast if we have like a lot of the same stocks. So please feel free to send us what do you think will be the best stock for 2026.
Yeah, we will try to do this webinar. We will try to make it interactive. Please use the Q&A for any question, the Q&A window for any questions that you might have. I see that some people are raising their hand. Please use the Q&A in order to ask any question, and we will try to address um, all the questions during this webinar. I see already some interesting opportunities that people are mapping for the upcoming year, Ben.
Yeah. Some of you wrote the gold, some of you wrote silver. We're going to talk about those two as well. And give us more. Tell us what you think. And we're gonna start in a few minutes. A quick disclaimer that I know first daily market forecast does not provide personal investment or financial advice to individuals or act as a personal financial, legal, institutional investment advisor or individually advocate the purchase or sale of any security or investment or the use of any particular financial strategy. All investing stock forecasts and investing strategies, including the risk of loss for some or even all of your capital. Before pursuing any financial strategies discussed on this webinar, you should always consult with a licensed financial advisor. That's for the quick disclaimer. And Yaron, I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready, Ben. We can start, and we have a lot of things to present today, a lot of interesting opportunities. And during this webinar, as Ben said, we are going to present many live predictions that our AI algorithm is generating right now. Again, please don't take it as an investment advice. The goal of this webinar is to highlight several opportunities for the upcoming year and to show you how you can take advantage of those opportunities basically right now. I will start with a quick introduction of I Know First. I Know First, we are AI fintech company. Our main solution is a predictive algorithm that basically generates daily forecast for the financial market, and identifying the most promising investment opportunities. We are utilizing artificial intelligence, more specifically deep learning, artificial neural networks, and genetic algorithms. And the AI predictive algorithm is generating daily forecasts for over 13,500 assets from different asset classes, equities, ETFs, commodities, currencies, cryptocurrencies, world indices with daily forecasts for multiple timeframes, long-term, mid-term, and short-term. In this webinar, we are going to share our updated indices prediction for the upcoming year, including leading sectors and leading regions in the world that you should consider for the upcoming year. The predictive algorithm is generating daily forecasts for over 50 global stock exchanges, including, of course, the stock exchanges in the US, Europe, Asia, and additional stock exchanges from all over the globe. And let's jump directly to the market, Ben, right? What do we see here?
We're seeing a forecast from today, from the 6th of January. This is the stocks semiconductors package that gives you the best semiconductor package from this universe. The algorithm is actually reviewing all the stocks from the semiconductors and gives us the best 10. Here we have an example of today's forecast, but we just left the top 3 stocks. We're going to talk about the numbers that you see here, but just to give you a small taste of the algorithm abilities, we're seeing that those 3 stocks were in the head of the list: AMKR, ASML, and NVDA. And we're seeing a big jump. I took those returns from the beginning of the trading day, so we can see AMKR, ASML, and NVIDIA right now with 9%, 1.5%, and 2%. And another interesting example is the XLK. XLK is the technology sector. And we're seeing those 5 stocks at the top of this forecast. Again, you are getting 10 stocks every day, but we're going to talk about it later. But just for the example, we have NVIDIA, AMAT, LLCX, and MU that are jumping right now, according to what happens half an hour ago. And that's already a good beginning and a good start for your trading day when you have the best stocks in the top of the list ready for you. And as we said, we're going to talk about 2026 and even 2025. We have a really interesting 2025. The year was quite volatile, but you have to you could find really good opportunities in the markets, and we're doing that through our predictive algorithm. And what we're seeing here is an example for a forecast, for a 1-year forecast that you're getting on a daily basis. And this was generated on January 2nd, as we can see at the top of this forecast. And we can see to the right the results of those 10 stocks after 1 year. If you would buy these stocks at the beginning of 2025, your average return would be 112%, while the S&P did around 17%. And we can see some interesting stocks, quantum related, Bitcoin related, that made some really great returns. If it's RGPI, if it's the QBTS with 234%, APLD with 267%. Some stocks didn't went into the right direction. We see the X's, the small X's. That means that those stocks wasn't in the right direction, but 8 out of 10 actually outperformed the market and gave us some really good returns in 2025. And another example from last year, the algorithm gave us those 10 stocks to hold for a period of 1 year, and we can see that Robinhood is here with 200%. We can find the KTOS, which also a drone company that made 187%. HUT, which is a Bitcoin-related stock, jumped 124%, and the total average of this package gave us the 66%, which is quite amazing for this volatile year that we'd experienced in 2025. And we're going to talk about this year, 2025, and a lot of products that you can use for a 1-year period, such as our best AI stocks and sectors report that we just launched. And in this report, you have all the assets and all the sectors, all the ETFs, all the commodities and currencies that you should and have in your portfolio for 2026. And I want to show you a quick glimpse of what was in our last report in 2025. We are launching this report from 2022 already, and the results are amazing. We can see that in 2025, the stocks that were recommended to buy were Robinhood with 293%, SoFi with 92%. We have Shopify, AVGO, CrowdStrike, TSM, Google, NVDA, eBay, and many more that outperformed the market. And I think the most interesting part, the commodities part, the algorithm is actually consisted on the silver ETF, which gained 166% this year, and even now still keep going up and look quite amazing. We also see the gold that really performed the market with 72%, and we had a short on the wheat that also went down by 12%. But we're going to talk about 2025 report. We're going to talk about 2026 reports, which is more interesting. But just to give you a small glimpse before we start, what the capabilities of the algorithm for the long-term time frames, and we're going to explain everything in a few more slides. But before that, let's introduce the team. Yaron, what do you say?
Yes, let's do it. Okay, so the I know first predictive algorithm was developed by our R&D team that's being led by Dr. Lipa Reutemann, one of the leading experts in the field of artificial intelligence, machine learning from the Weizmann Institute of Science. Dr. Reutemann is leading our R&D team that includes PhDs, AI and machine learning experts. We have math professor as part of the core R&D team, as well as employees with the background of data science, math, statistics, physics. Ben Rubin, who is leading our advisory team. Please introduce yourself, Ben.
I'm the head of the advisory here in INO First. I'm a financial advisor in my profession, worked in the big Israeli bank for several years, and I will be one of your hosts in this webinar.
Yes, and my name is Yaron Golger. Nice to meet you. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of INO First. I'm also serving as the chairman of the FinTech board in the Israeli Export Institute, and also lecturing for FinTech AI at Reichman University in Israel. I'm an engineer with EMBA. The INO First predictive algorithm is being trusted by the world's leading hedge funds, investment houses, banks, family office, and also high net worth individuals and retail investors that utilizing the AI algorithm in order to identify opportunities on a daily basis in the market and there to support their investment process. In this list, we can find leading hedge funds, leading family offices, leading investment houses. With some of them, we have built several AI-powered financial products. And with some of the companies, we are also basically managing their own funds by using the very same technology that is available that we will present in this webinar. The Identifies predictive algorithm has received several international awards, including from UBS, Entity Data in Japan, and the Geneva Wealth Tech Forum. And I don't want to give you a spoiler regarding the best Magnificent 7 stocks, but there is a spoiler here, right, Ben? Okay. We are really proud to cooperate with the Reichman University. We are delivering AI and fintech courses for already 4 years. And in our website, you can find different articles, different TV reports about the predictive algorithm, about the AI predictive algorithm, as well as different events and reviews from clients that can assist you to identify the package that's suitable for you.
Yep, and who of you haven't joined yet to our special WhatsApp community, WhatsApp group, please feel free to scan the QR code that you see on your screen and join our WhatsApp group in which we are publishing forecasts for different sectors and different stocks. We have AI articles with talking about investment with using AI. So feel free to join our secret WhatsApp group by scanning the QR code and enjoying a lot of our forecasts.
Right. So basically, we are offering two solutions to our clients. On one end, we are providing daily predictions that our AI algorithm is generating every day. Daily forecast for the short term, daily forecast for the midterm, and daily forecast also for the long term. The daily forecast includes the best opportunities for those timeframes based on the specific investment universe that you would like to focus. You can focus on the S&P 500 universe, the Russell 2000, or even specific sectors. We will showcase the different features in this webinar. On top of that, we have a very special institutional solution that's basically converting the daily forecast into a portfolio. We are using the AI in order to build the portfolio and also to create the monthly rebalancing of the portfolio. And we are going to show you in this webinar how we're doing it. We have very special systematic strategy to share today, very interesting one. The Identifies predictive algorithm includes three components. The first component is providing the opportunity basically to identify the most promising opportunities for the different timeframes on a daily basis. The second component is basically providing us stock market intelligence. It's providing us insights regarding the leading sectors, the leading regions across the globe, and also the direction of the main indices. It's also providing us insights regarding sectors, regions that we should basically avoid. And the last component, which is very interesting feature, is basically the option or the opportunity to receive a custom forecast based on each client portfolio. So let's say Ben is holding now Tesla, NBIS, and Iron. It's possible to get a daily custom forecast for those assets and to provide like an independent, objective, AI-powered forecast for this specific list. It could be 100 stocks, 200 stocks, you name it. And basically, you can replace the stocks that are less strong in your portfolio with the best opportunities that the AI is suggesting basically on a daily basis. So how we do it, it's not a magic, it's basically science. We are utilizing AI. The AI predictive algorithm is collecting and digesting a very large amount of data sets that coming from the entire financial market. We are using data that coming from the different stock exchanges that we are monitoring. We are collecting data from the interest rate market, from the commodities market, currency market, even cryptocurrencies. We are utilizing every quantitative data set that is out there. We are adding the daily data to our database. We are managing database with historical data. And from this stage, the AI is taking the control and basically building the complex network that exists in the financial market. In the financial markets, there are thousands of correlation sets, and our unique predictive algorithm is able to build this complex network on a daily basis and to update this network on actually every day without any human intervention. The bottom line is basically forecast for the timeframes that you see on the right, short term, mid-term, and also long term. And this process is being done on a daily basis. So every day when you turn on your laptop, you're going to receive, in the morning, you're basically going to receive the most promising opportunities for the upcoming days, basically.
Yeah, and I guess some people in the crowd are asking if the algorithm can read tweets or reports or other information that is in the news.
So we are relying on the most objective data set that is out there, the market, the quantitative data sets that reflecting the behavior of the market. So the predictive algorithm is focusing on quantitative data sets. It's important to say it's not a generative model, it's specialized model that's being trained to focus on the stock market in order to identify the best opportunities. So it's a model that's basically called specialized predictive model that focusing on basically predicting the market. So basically we are combining different AI technologies into one predictive algorithm. We are utilizing deep learning, artificial neural network, genetic algorithms, and the goal is basically to separate the unpredictable part of the market and to focus on the most predictable assets. Not everything in the market is predictable, and the AI algorithm is able to filter out the noise, the assets that are not predictable, and to focus on the most predictable assets from each investment universe. It could be the S&P 500, or it could be the Russell 1000 or the Russell 3000.
All right, so let's figure out how to read the forecast and what are all the numbers that we see in the forecast. So basically, you can see here the forecast has the time frame that it belongs to. We can see that this one belongs to the 1 month. Again, as Yaron said, you are getting every day 6 time frames from 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, 1 month, 3 months, and 1 year. Then we can see the cells that are divided into green cells that actually represent long position, and red cells that represent short positions. We can see not always we have like 10 red cells. Sometimes we have 4, sometimes we have less. It's according to the market condition. And we are using 2 indicators to predict the market. One of them is the signal, which is located on the middle of each and every square. In this case, for example, if we'll take NVDA, we'll see that the signal is 1.32. The signal represents the predictive movement of the asset. It's actually ranking the entire investment universe and all the assets that the algorithm covers, more than 13,500 assets, and ranking them from the best with the strongest signal that is located on the top left corner of your map, and going down to the right, the one with the most negative signal, which represents that this specific asset is supposed to go down. So in this case, NVIDIA, from all of those stocks, supposed to go up in the strongest way, and Wolf supposed to go down in the strongest way. So this signal is relative to the stocks that are in the same forecast. And the other indicator that we are using is the predictability indicator. This one is located actually on the top and the bottom left corner of each and every square. For NVDA, it's 0.46, as we can see here. This is Pearson correlation measurement. It moves from actually -1 to 1, while 0 represents 50% probability that the asset will move to the predicted direction. 1 represents 100% probability that the asset will move to the predicted direction. And the predictability signal is actually telling us how good the algorithm can forecast the specific asset. How good can it predict the specific asset? So using those two indicators, we can focus on the best stocks out of the forecast in each and every time frame. In this example, it's a good example because we have NVIDIA here with the strongest signal out of all of those stocks and the strongest predictability. This, if you have the best signal and the best predictability, it's the optimal combination that you can have between those two indicators. So we're going to see a few more examples during this webinar and learn how to focus on the best stock. And just to let you know how the forecast looks like before you're starting your trading day and you're looking at the forecast, you would look on these 6 time frames, the 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, and the longer time frames of 1 month, 3 months, and 1 year. You will see some stocks that are in a multiple time frame, which is a good sign, by the way. And you don't have like a new stocks in each and every time frame. And this basically how it looks like. If you want to focus on the 14 days, for example, you look at the 14 days time frame, you check with the stock with the strongest predictability and have a good signal, and you can buy them for a period of 2 weeks. And of course, the day after, you'll get another forecast, is an updated forecast, in which you can see, again, the majority of the stocks will stay in this time frame or in every time frame, and you would know what's the status of your stock. And this is how you get the opportunities on a daily basis through your mail. And let's see some examples from the recent days, actually. If we're talking about the 3 days time frame, this is our live forecast that was sent to our clients. We can see the stocks that were actually chosen here to the left, those 10 stocks. We only see the long part in this examples, and we can find NVIDIA, we can find IRM, we can see ON, MU, TSM, a lot of semiconductor stocks that were chosen. And this was chosen on January 1st. So if you would buy those stocks on January 1st and hold them for a period of 3 days, this was the results that you would see on your portfolio. As you can see, 8 out of the 10 stocks moved to the right direction and was positive. And the INO first average of this forecast was standing on 2.9%, while the S&P did 0.2%, 19%. So the average of this forecast actually outperformed the market, which is quite impressive. And 2 of the stocks out of those 10 didn't move to the right direction. This is where we see the small X's next to the stock. And let's jump into the 7 days time frame. Again, we can see that the algorithm gave us some interesting stock for this 7 days time frame that was generated. This forecast was generated on the 26th of December. And we can find stocks such as UA that jumped 14%, or WHLRP that moved 16%. And this forecast actually gave us a positive average of 4%, while the S&P went down by 1%. So the algorithm was able to locate and identify long opportunities in the going down market, which is really useful for this trading days that we see. And for example, 2025, that we have some really volatile market during the year. And even the longer time frames of 14 days, we can find stocks such as NVIDIA, MU, LRC, and many more that outperform the market. And the algorithm is located and giving us the best opportunity out of this universe. We can see that, for example, in this forecast, NVIDIA has the highest signal and highest predictability. So I would probably choose NVIDIA in this case, but also I can see that MU also have really high predictability compared to the other stocks in this forecast. And the signal is the second best signal in this forecast, and MU is actually jumped by 18%. So this is the examples for signals and predictability. If we're going to the 1 month, we can see that the signal is getting stronger and the predictability is getting higher. This is something that is we can see in all our forecasts that as long as the time frame, you can see the predictability goes in a higher values. Here we can find stocks such as the COHR that jumped by 22.7%, and we can find AMAT and NVIDIA again, TSTM that jumped 17%. This specific package in 1 month actually performed 10%, while the S&P moved by 1.37. So this is the 1 month time frame, and again, you can find it as said in the 3 months as well. We see NVIDIA was starring in the 2025 forecast. We can find as well LRCX, there, LSSC, AMKR that also appeared today as we saw, and all of those stocks made some significant return in the 3 months time frame. You can see here 20% in average, while the stocks actually made 11%. That's interesting. And the S&P actually performed 2.35%. And if we go 1 year, as the forecast that we saw at the beginning of the webinar, we saw that the algorithm gave us a forecast for a 1 year time frame. You can see it here. It was generated on the 1st of January 2025. And actually, the algorithm tells us those are the best 10 stocks that you should hold in this year, and check the returns. I think 8 out of the 10 outperformed the S&P, almost doubled the S&P, and some of the stocks such as Hood performed 200%, KTOS with 187%, and many others, Expedia, from different sectors. You can say Robinhood from the capital markets, you see KTOS from the military sector, aerospace sector, and defense. We can see semiconductors, we can see crypto. We have a variety of different sectors that the algorithm is actually picking for the 1 year time frame. And even from the last few days, this is a forecast from yesterday, actually. This was sent to our clients on Sunday, and it's actually relevant for Monday because there's no trading day on Sunday, and we can see that those 5 stocks was on the top of this forecast: BLDR, PDG, and Axon, and the CRPT were the 5 leading stocks. Of course, you get 10 stocks, but I just gave you just the first 5, because it's the 7 days forecast is actually still relevant from the 4th of January for 1 week ahead, and we're seeing those returns are actually enough for 1 day of trading, and you can actually even in some of them even take some profit. But
by the way,
an example. Yeah.
By the way, AXON as we speak is climbing another 5.4% as we speak right now. So almost 10% in 2 days. Not bad.
Not bad at all. And another example is from the healthcare sector. We can find stocks that the algorithm put in the head of the table that also performed really well in the market. TNC jumped by almost 7%, X-ray with 3%, and this is actually interesting from the healthcare universe. And the same way, we have the biotech, which was looking good in the last few months, and actually still looking quite good. We can find the IRWD with 7.5% and HSDT with 8.4%. And this is just for 1 day of trading, right? That was given to our clients 2 days ago, and you can trade that on Monday. And even the hardest sectors of 2025, special metals and mining, we can find the UEC, the uranium company, jumping by 6.7%, AA with 8%, and CNX with 7%, and really, really nice performance for 1 day of trading. So those were the examples from the last and from December. And next thing I'm going to talk to you about is our special 2026 report, which I think should be in each and everyone's portfolio for the next year. If we are diving into it, in this special report, you'll have all the top stock picks that you need to have for 2026 from the US market, the best stocks out of the US market, the best ETF that you should hold in your portfolio, the sectors, aggressive stocks, small stocks, indices, interest rate, Forex, commodities, and even cryptocurrencies and crypto stocks. All you have to do is buy those stocks, buy those assets at the beginning of the year, which means in the following days. This report will be sent in the next few days, and hold it for a period of 1 year. This is a long-term investment. To whom of you that like to buy stocks and hold them for a long time, for a long period. And let me show you what this report has actually performed in 2025, because I think it's quite amazing. You know what? Let's just open the report itself. You can, by the way, you can download the report in our website, iknowfirst.com. But let me show you the full report from 2025. It was sent, as you can see here, from January 8th to our client. And let's see what this report had, and actually what the algorithm suggested us to hold in 2025. First, we are looking at the main indices, and we're seeing that the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P were positive and good to hold for this 2025. Then we have the best sectors to be in, and as you can see, XSD, which is the semiconductors equal weight sector, which, by the way, performed almost 40% in 2025, was the leading sector in this report. After that, we can find the Buzz, if you know the Buzz ETF, also 53% this year. And in the same time, we have XLY, the consumer, XSW, KXLC with 20%, XLK with 30%, XAR, which is the aerospace and defense, also jumped by 50% in 2025. XLF, which is really relevant in the last few days, as we saw, and many other stocks that the algorithm from each and every sector is recommended. So if we saw the semiconductor sector will be the leading sector of 2025, we're giving you the best semiconductor stock to be in this year. And as you know, NVDA performed around 50%, and AVGO performed around 60% in 2025. So, by the way, TSM also 52%. We have many stocks here, such as Expedia with 20%, RL, Ralph Lauren, which is also really interesting, with 40%. each and every sector, from the consumer, from the technology, from the semiconductors, you're getting the best stocks to be in for 2025 in this report, and also in 2026, we have the new stocks for this year, and you don't want to miss what we have this year. CrowdStrike, by the way, the hack company, the cyber company, jumped by 60%. We have Google here outperforming the Max 7 with 50%. Netflix, Microsoft, and many, many more from the financial sector, from the technology sector. A lot of those stocks would outperform the market. And then we're giving you the best stocks out of the S&P 500 and the best stocks from the entire US market. For example, in this case, you can find the eBay with 31%, WSM, Shopify that also jumped by 63%, and that's pretty amazing. Then you have the higher risk stocks, the one that are more volatile, and look which two stocks was in the top of this report. Robinhood with 293% and SoFi with 92% in 2025. That's crazy. We also have the Bitcoin and the Ethereum and two other coins that were also was in the long position for this report. The Bitcoin didn't move that well in this year, but the 2026 looks actually quite promising. And then I want to take you to one part which I think is the most amazing part of this report. From the commodities, the best thing that you could have is the silver. The silver is in the top of the commodities report. Out of the 55 commodities that we cover, the algorithm put the silver on the top of this report. We can see with really good predictability, and also the gold right behind. By the way, check the signal of the silver, which is 26, while the gold is with 8%. The silver in 2025 performed, let me show you, 166%, while the gold 72%. This is quite unique. You're getting the best sectors, as you can see, and the best stocks for 2026. And this report is outperforming the market from 2022 each and every year. And I even can show you, for example, 2024, for that matter. We find there NVDA, THC, COF, Blackstone, Hilton, and many other stocks that made some significant return. We gave you the best sectors, the best indices. Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, we're all here in 2024. This is all what you need for the long-term investment in your portfolio. And the 2026 best stocks report. And now in the webinar sale, we have it for you in $999 in a one-time payment instead of $1,479. That's the regular price of this report, and it's available for the next 24 hours in that price. After that, it's going back to this price. This is a really big discount that you have for this report, and it will give you a lot of amazing insights. So I think it's one of our best products, and it's working amazing from 2022. And it's for people that like to invest for a long term, and you can enjoy this report that will be sent in 2 days. I think it will be sent. So get ready for 2026.
Right. A few words about this report. Basically, in this report, you're getting a taste of our institutional solution. We are mapping all the sectors, as Ben said, in the US market. We are identifying, on the first stage, we are using the AI to identify the best sectors in the US market. And then we are creating a drill down to the most promising sectors in order to identify the most promising stock picks. So as you can see here, Hood during this period actually during this 1 year time frame, basically, who'd been listed in the S&P 500 universe. AVGO became part of the actually a Magnificent Seven stocks now. AVGO is larger than Tesla, and it's interesting to see that the AI managed to identify that. Google, with the recent jump and the recent significant performance over the last year, very interesting to see this opportunities that basically were being sent 1 year ago. Our longer 1 year time frame is the time frame with the highest predictability, and here we can see how the predictability is important, how the ability of the AI to identify opportunities, long-term opportunities, is really significant and really strong. And I do suggest to take advantage of this one-time report in order to make sure that you have the right assets for a long-term portfolio for the upcoming year.
Yeah, and I'll just make it clear because I see some question about it. This is a one-time payment you pay, $999, and you get this report for 2026. It's only one time frame. There's no time frames here. It's not like the other packages that we saw and we're gonna see later on. This is a one-time report, and all you should buy and hold the assets that are on this report for 2026. Of course, you can focus on some of the assets. You don't have to buy all of them, but in each and every sector, you'll have the best stock and its strength from the best one, and then going down, you can choose the first ones. You can take them all, but again, this report is going to be your guide for 2026. And I think it's an amazing product, and don't miss this really big sale that we have for the next 24 hours for this report. By the way, you can get the link in the chat. You will see, you can click on the chat and get the link for the report, or you can find it in the website as well. All right, let's talk about 2026. 2026, we already started it, and let's see what the algorithm actually thinks about 2026. Let's just watch the forecast, the indices and sector forecast for 2026, and let's analyze it. So, if we're checking the 1 year prediction for 2026, we're seeing some interesting sectors and indices. The yellow squares that you see, it's the yellow, the squares that I marked, and just to show you and bold you the ones that I think that are more interesting ones. But let's go through the forecast. First, we're still seeing the semiconductors, the stocks, is one of the leading sector out of the sectors in 2026. By the way, in this forecast, we are seeing more than 175 main indices, global indices, on a daily basis. Basically, this is the 1 year forecast. So we're gonna see out of 175 indices and sectors, which one are the leading one. So semiconductors is in the head of the table. By the way, people ask what MERV, it's the Argentinian indices index. We see in the stocks here leading the forecast, we're seeing Taiwan equal weight also looks quite strong. We can find RUA, which is the Russell 3000. The small caps are coming back and coming back strong. We can find, by the way, some Israeli indices that really outperformed the market, the global markets in 2025. Tel Aviv 35 made more than 50% in 2025. We can find the banking system in the US, BKX, really strong. The financial services are looking quite strong in 2026. We can also find the NASDAQ right here. AJX, it's the housing sector. We can see NASDAQ 100. We can see regional banks in the US look quite strong. We can find the Russell 1000 here as well. S&P 500 is still positive and looking good for 2026. European banks also looks quite good. We can find all the oil services right here, OS6, and Russell 2000 and the Nikkei 225, the Bavespa, and at the bottom we can find the German DAX right in the bottom of this forecast. Of course, there are many more indices below this forecast, but I gave you just the top picks for 2026. We can also find here, by the way, the biotech and the airline company NBI and XAL, and a lot of Indian stocks that also looks quite promising for 2026. And I got it all you summed up here to the left. Those are the best sectors and assets that we find from this specific forecast. We do have some more indices and sectors that will look good for 2026, but that you will only be able to see in our report. So how can you actually use this forecast to be in the right place? So if the semiconductors looks quite good in this algorithm, in our algorithm, looks quite the best sector, we also have packages for the semiconductors universe. So the stocks package, as you can see here, the algorithm is only focusing on semiconductor stocks. As you can see in this forecast from the January 2nd, we can find ASML, we can find AMD, NVDA, TSM, and those stocks made some significant return of 6%, while the S&P didn't complete 1%. And also for the long term, if you can see the 3 months forecast that was generated on October 5th, we can find MU, LLCX, TER, AMAT, AMD, and many other that actually outperformed the S&P. And 2026 is going to be part of the AI revolution that we are actually experiencing in this year. And this revolution is being motor and getting ahead through those semiconductors companies. And we saw the example from today that this is the semiconductors package from today that AMKR jumped by 9%. So 2026 semiconductors looks pretty good sector and pretty good investment, but you have to stock pick the best stocks out of this sector and let the algorithm help you to do so for different time frames. Another interesting sector that we see that is going to be one of the leading sector in 2026 is the AI stocks. And as we can see in the Goldman Sachs says that AI companies may invest more than $500 billion in 2026, and even more than that. So for whom that interested in those stocks, the AI stocks, we also have a special package for you guys that focus on stocks that have some relations or related to the AI technology. If it's TWLO, MU, NVIDIA, Google, they all have and use AI. And we can see the forecast for those packages right here for 1 month and 3 months, and seeing some significant returns in a period of 1 month and even period of 3 months. So
Wow, Micron Technology with 78%, amazing.
yeah, Micron Technology is still looking good from the semiconductor universe and many others.
By the way, it's interesting to see that also the AI identified Google here twice, basically, with the two symbols, Goog and Google.
Yeah, yeah. Google was one of the most outperforming stock from the Magnificent Seven, and the algorithm started pretty good during 2025. We also have the tech package. If you don't want to focus only on semiconductors or AI, you can take the entire technology universe by our tech package. And there you can see some interesting stocks, some WDC with 70% in those 3 months. Or if you can see the 1 year forecast, which is quite amazing with TSM, Palantir, by the way. In the beginning of the year, holding Palantir could be a really good trade with 135%. And make, instead of 16%, 42% in 2025 just by focusing on the best tech stock. All right, so we said the semiconductors, we saw that there is a technology and AI. What else that we can find in 2026? We saw that the Russell 3000 RUA is one of the leading indices for 2026. So we also have a really interesting package for the Russell 1000, Russell 2000, and Russell 3000. This is an example from the Russell 2000 for yesterday, sorry. Those are the 3 leading stocks. Of course, you have 10 stocks. I'm just giving you a glimpse of that forecast. And those stocks performed almost 7, 8, and 2% yesterday, which is quite amazing. The Russell 2000, Russell 3000, Russell 1000 packages looking really good for 2026. I think this should be one of your leading stocks. We can also see it just from the beginning of the year, compare the SPY to the RSP, and you'll see that RSP is actually quite ahead of the SPY just in those days that we started trading in 2026. And if
RSP,
you also,
just for those of you that doesn't know, they don't know, RSP is basically equally weighted, assuming that you equally weighted in all the 500 stocks of the S&P 500. And I totally agree with you. The Russell 2000 and the Russell 3000 could be really interesting if we're assuming that we're going to see an additional interest rate decreases during the upcoming year.
Yeah, if in 2024 and 2025 we saw the market that is more, focusing on the bigger stock, I think in 2026 we're going to see much wider scale and wider, a lot of companies that will gain return. And you can see it by even today. If you check the SPY compared to the RSP is with 0.7, the SPY right now is 0.2. It's interesting to see this trend of small stocks. And if you want to focus on a small cap universe, for example, under 50, under 5, under 10, we also providing these packages for you guys. The small caps, more volatile universe, but again, check for example WHLR with 220% in 2 weeks, which is crazy, and ANF Abercrombie with 35%, IMVT, DUSA, and many other stocks that outperform the market just by being a small cap. Again, the volatility in this universe is much higher, so you have to also notice that. For example, check the 3 days. In the 3 days forecast, the average of this package was 25% while the market went down. This is kind of crazy. Small caps are crazy. Again, the risk in those stocks are higher. So you have to manage the risk in your investments with just providing you the opportunities. So small caps, Russell 2000, Russell 3000. And if you want to mix it up a little bit, if you want to have like small caps with large caps, with Magnificent Seven, with the silver, with the gold, and with the Bitcoin inside, we offer you the Buzz package. You can see many stocks that you probably are familiar with, such as Palantir, NVDA, Microsoft, PayPal, Nike, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Netflix, CVNA, Coca-Cola, Eli Lilly, all the stocks that everybody talks about basically in the social media and the digital media. We gather all of them for one pool of stocks that the algorithm is actually scanning on a daily basis and providing you the best stock from this universe, from this Buzz universe. We added the silver, the gold, and the Bitcoin as well. And it's actually really, really interesting package that really worked amazing in 2025. You can see it right here with Palantir and Hood. It's enough just by holding those two stocks. You already made more than 330%. But we also had their CVNA that joined the S&P 500. We had Palantir, we had Affirm, and AVGO. We also had in the 7 days time frame, as you can see here, the silver was one of the ETFs that was suggested in this package. Silver is really interesting. It's surging in the last year. Also, not just I mean, the semiconductors sector is using silver, and also for all the electric car universe also using the silver. So silver looks pretty promising even for 2026. But again, you can see which other commodities are looking really interesting in 2026 in our 2026 special report. Another package that I really like, it's more for the more risky investors if you are like that. So you have the options package. In the option package, you will find stocks that have high volatility, and basically they were chosen because of their really high volatility. You can find here stocks from the quantum universe, from the crypto, from the biotech, and many other stocks. But the motive here, what is similar to all of these stocks, that they all have a really high volatility. So you can find QBTS, for example, an APLD and ONDS that really outperformed in 2025 with 330%, 234%, 267%. This is remarkable. And you can see that the average of this package was really, really high. Again, these are not options that we are providing you. It's stocks with high volatility. You're not getting calls and puts. You're getting just the stocks with high volatility. And again, you'll have to manage the risk.
Of course, the universe is based on stocks with high volatility, and then the AI is identifying, creating a ranking for this custom universe, of this unique universe, and then identifying the best opportunities out of the most volatile assets in the US market.
Yeah, and we have an example from yesterday, by the way. ONDS, almost 14% in one day. This is quite amazing. Again, from this package, this was the top of the top signal out of this package and sent to our clients yesterday. for
On
a
Sunday,
period
actually.
of 3 days. Yeah.
Right, right. And yeah, as you mentioned, of course, there is a higher risk here. Take it into consideration. We are not advising you to build the entire portfolio around this package, but it could add some taste, but manage the risk, limit your exposure to the opportunities that the AI is identifying from this interesting universe.
All right, so we talked about semiconductors and technology and AI and talked about small caps. The next best sector, which the algorithm thinks for 2026, is the finance sector. The finance banks, especially regional banks in the US, looks quite promising. And to tell you the truth, the algorithm is giving us this XLF, the financial sector, for I think 2 or 3 months already, and as the leading sector from the last 3 months, and we're gonna see that in our portfolios. You're gonna see it. We're gonna present to you that in I think almost every of our portfolio, the financial sector is one of the biggest one of the biggest holdings that we have, the XLF, and it still looks quite good. But if you want to drill down into this sector and find the best stock out of the financial sector, we also provided in the financial stock package. As you can see here, we analyzed the sector and gave the algorithm to choose the best stocks. And as you can see, we have here American Express, we have here SF that made some significant return in the 3 months period. Again, those are more larger stocks, and the volatility sometimes is lower than the rest, than the regular. We can find here, for example, COF and MCO, Moody's and American Express, and SF and SYF that presented some really good returns in the last year. So financial sector looks quite amazing and is really promising for 2026 as well.
Ben, that it was part of the 2025 report as well, the XLF actually, and several stock picks.
Yeah, I know. COF, for example,
Right.
was there, if I remember correctly, and I think two more.
Yeah.
Financial, just in the last few days, you can see what happened to XLF, by the way. Jumped by, I think, 4 or 5%, which is quite a lot for this big sector. All right, another interesting sector for 2026, energy. And not just energy, it's actually oil services. We saw the big operation in Venezuela, and the name of the company we know first, but did actually know first about it. We can, if some of you have been in our AI portfolio that we want to talk about, one of the assets there was the XTS, which is focusing on oil services, and that made some significant return in the last month, I think around 9%, 10%. And so we're going to see that soon. But again, if you want to be in the best energy company, we have the energy package for you that's focusing on energy stocks.
Basically here, again, we are creating the very same ranking based on energy companies, as Ben mentioned, identifying the best opportunity. And I think here we can see the forecast that was sent already on Sunday for the leading energy stocks. We see 5 stocks to buy on the top of this heat map. The first stocks that we see on the top part of this heat map, and in the bottom, in the very bottom, we see the stocks that's supposed to go down, and it's very interesting to see that actually most of the stocks that were identified as long opportunity were moving into the long direction, including FCX, GEOS, TTY LPG, and even more interesting to see that the stocks that the AI was actually marking for the negative territory were actually going down over this period, and UNG, which had the strongest negative signal, went at the strongest negative movement over this day.
Yeah, according to the forecast, and again, the Venezuela opportunity can bring a lot of energy stocks to go up in 2026. So could be a really interesting opportunity. And another, I think a really interesting package that we have, it's the Trump package, which actually gathers a lot of the sectors that we saw so far. For example, crypto stocks, we can find aerospace and defense stocks, AI stocks, energy stocks, technology stocks, and some Israel stock in the Trump package, all gathered together, and the algorithm scans it and gives us the best sectors out of those sectors that Trump in Trump's doctrine. So we can find here some interesting stocks such as RKLB, Rocket Lab. We can find here stocks such as PH and TSM, STX, Wolf that made 60% the last 3 months, and many other stocks that are actually going after or being supported by Donald Trump. So this package have a lot of sectors in it, and you can combine a lot of the sectors that we saw in one big package. So that's the Trump package. We also have the quantum package that's also going to be interesting in 2026. This sector is already being talked about a lot in 2025, and we see some stocks that are starting to jump in 2026. So if you are interested in the quantum computing sector, you can find it in the quantum package. And if you don't really know which package that you want to focus on, you can also suggest you the ETF package, which gives you a really interesting view of the market. For example, we can see here in March 2025, in the beginning of the year, this ETF package gave us lead us actually to the European market and not the US market. And we can find stocks such as ETFs, such as EWG, which is Germany, EWP is Spain, and EWY is Italy as a leading ETF for the beginning of 2025. While then, in the later that year, we can see a change again to American ETFs such as stocks, semiconductors, XLK, VGT, and many more that performed really well in the end of 2025. So ETF package gives you, first, it's lower your risk because you're holding around 60 or 70 stocks in one security, and you're getting diversification, geographical diversification, because you can find here European stock exchanges, or Indian, or Brazilian, or Taiwan. Each and every ETF can actually point to some place on the globe, and if the US market will not perform really well, you can have other suggestions for investments for different time frames. I really like the ETF package. I think it's one of our leading packages, and you can benefit a lot from it. And all right, the last package, again, to whom that doesn't really know in which package to focus on, you can take the top 10 package. Top 10 package is actually the package that gives you the best stocks out of the entire US market. We filter it by stocks and companies that are larger than $2 billion, and you can find here stocks from different universes. If it's from the capital markets, from Robinhood, if it's from technology, if it's from the consumer universe, if it's some aerospace and defense, from the entire US market. This is one of our leading and popular packages. And because you don't just get 10 best stocks from the entire US market, you also get a forecast about it, the S&P 500 index itself. So additionally to the 10 stocks that you have in this package, you also get a forecast about the index itself, as you can see here. And this is quite useful if you want to know the direction of the market and where's the trend right now, and help you to focus your portfolio. So top 10 package, one of our more popular packages, also in the webinar deal that we're going to present you in a minute. So you can enjoy all of our packages that we just talked about in our website. You have the prices on each and every package, and basically for the first month you can try it for $200, as you can see here. But then in the regular price of those packages are $269 in average. In this webinar's deal, we are giving you actually 1+1 for $299 per month. Means you can get 2 packages for $299 per month. No commitment. You can cancel at any time. If you want to just try the packages, try the service, see how you're handling with the signal and the predictability, and try any of the packages that you saw in this webinar. If it's the Russell 3000, AI stocks, small cap stocks, whatever you like, you can combine between the two. And this is available for the next 24 hours. So this is our first webinar sale. You can find the link in the chat and use this webinar sale for $299 per month and combine 2 packages of your choice. The second webinar sale that we already talked about is the special 2026 report, in which you can find the best stocks, assets, ETFs, commodities, and currencies for 2026. Do not miss that report, and you get it with a $99 instead of $1,479. Special discount for the next 24 hours.
By the way, as Ben said, we are suggesting, if you're suggesting to go with the first webinar sale, the 1+1 deal, we're suggesting to focus on the universes that Ben highlighted before. Semiconductors package is not available in the pricing table. It's available only in this 1+1 deal. Same goes with the Trump package. The multiple packages that Ben just showed, energy, the BAS, AI companies, all of those packages that are very relevant for this year, for 2026, are part of the 1+1 deal. So please go over the chat window. You can see all the links for all the different deals that we are presenting here.
All right. And for our third interesting AI deal, we have the AI powered portfolio. This is for investors that doesn't want to actually look for stocks on a daily basis or for a weekly basis, and also don't really want to buy stocks for a period of 1 year or a very long time frame. And they want to actually use the AI to help them to build a portfolio on a monthly basis. So every 4 weeks, the AI is actually providing you 10 stocks or ETFs to hold for a period of 4 weeks. And this product is actually quite amazing. I'll show you the rebalances that we had in 2025. It began in April, the beginning of April 2025, and the next rebalance is actually happening tomorrow on the 7th of January. The next rebalance, the next 10 assets that you should hold for a period of 4 weeks will be sent to you tomorrow, and you can see the returns of this portfolio since the beginning of April 2025 up until now, standing on 29%. The portfolio is standing on 29%, while the S&P is on 21%. This is a really convenient product for you guys that want to trade every 4 weeks or once a month, changing their portfolio, still keeping the pace of the market, and see the stocks, sell some stocks. You'll get them every 4 weeks, and the rebalance of this product is happening tomorrow. Let me show you some of the rebalances, by the way. In some months, for example, in June, the portfolio made 11% in average, which means we're telling you to buy those stocks in equal weight. If you have 10 stocks, just equal weight those 10 stocks, 10 assets. And the average of this portfolio gave us 11%. You have here 8%, 6%, 5%. Sometimes it goes down. It's a long only portfolio. We can see we have a -4, for example, but the majority of the times we are seeing some amazing performance. This is how the portfolio looks like. You're getting those 10 stocks, you have to buy them at closing time. It's called MOC, market on close. You can buy those assets on closing time and hold them for a period of 4 weeks in exact. So, for example, in 2nd of April, when the market went down by 2%, we suggested to go with Palantir, with TTWO, with Uber, Microsoft, and we performed 3.4%. In the April 30, 1 month later, 4 weeks later, we also had 6.2%. Some of the stocks were actually ETFs with aerospace and defense, XAR, as we can find here. We can find ASML here, and a Coop, for example. And many other. You can check the portfolios in the website and check all the stocks and assets that the algorithm gave and suggested to hold for a period of 4 weeks. This is one of the, I think, successful portfolios that we had. UPST with 34%, AMST with 26%, and the portfolio skyrocketed with 11%, while the S&P were around 4.3%. So, to whom of you that like to buy once a month, still being still in the market, and every 4 weeks update your portfolio. This is our 3rd webinar sale for today, AI-powered portfolio. It's a 3-month subscription for $300 per month instead of $330 per month, paid every 3 months, and you'll get the AI to manage your portfolio and give you the best assets out of all the packages that we just saw. The algorithm picks the best stock. It's actually doing a really interesting model, but is focusing on the best sectors first, and then drill down and giving you the best stock out of each and every sector. You don't have to do anything by it. You don't have to look for signals or predictability. You just get the stocks, buy them, and hold them for a period of 4 weeks. So this is our 3rd webinar sale, AI powered portfolio. And let's repeat that quickly. We have 1+1 with $299 per month. You can choose any 2 packages that you saw on this webinar, and no commitment. You can cancel at any time. You can combine whatever you like, ETF with top 10, best AI stocks with Russell 1000 or 3000. And choose whatever you like, the Trump package, and you get this for $299 per month. This is our first webinar sale. The second is the full report of 2026. Do not miss that report with $999 instead of $1,479 for the next 24 hours only. And the AI-powered portfolio that we just presented for you guys with $300 per month for 3 months subscription. Really, really interesting deal. But if you want it all, for example, if you want to combine one of the AI portfolio with the 2026 AI report, you can also do it with our yearly subscription. You can choose 2 out of 3 of the products that we just showed you. For example, you can take the annual report in the AI portfolio, or you can take the AI portfolio with one of the packages that you get on a daily basis. You can get packages on a daily basis for trading on a daily, weekly basis, and also combine it with the 2026 report with holdings for the next year. You can get this special webinar sale with $299 per month, paid every 12 months. This is remarkable for whom of you that wants to combine different time frames, short time frames, and longer time frames. But wait, because we also have the premium webinar sale with all inclusive. You get the annual report, the AI portfolio. You can choose 2 packages out of the packages we just saw, and you get that for $399 per month with the yearly subscription. This is the golden cup. This is, I think, you can enjoy all the time frames. You get entrance to everything. You can choose between daily packages to weekly packages to AI portfolio and annual report. You can build a really interesting portfolio with this package. So this is our 4th webinar sale, and it's available for the next 24 hours. All right. So before we're gonna get, of course, and show you.
Just maybe one small remark about those deals. I will try to do an order because I see several questions. So for those of you that basically would like to build a long-term portfolio for 2026, I do suggest to focus on deal number 2, the AI stock picks reports for the upcoming year. You can see it on the chat. For those of you that are more active traders and would like to be exposed to the opportunities that AI is identifying on a daily basis, I do suggest to consider the 1+1 deal. Again, focus on the specific sectors that Ben highlighted during the session. For those of you that basically would like to be exposed to the AI, but on a monthly basis, and to build a monthly portfolio based on the best opportunities that AI is building, I do suggest to consider deal number 3. And with the AI portfolio, every 4 weeks, basically, we're going to send you portfolio, equally weighted portfolio that you need to buy at the closing, and the next rebalancing is going to take place in 4 weeks. And for those of you,
the rebalance is tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, yeah, small. It's important. It's going to the rebalance is tomorrow, so please take it into consideration. And if you would like to get it all, basically, to be exposed to the opportunities on a daily basis with the packages that we are offering, and also to build a monthly portfolio with the AI monthly portfolio, and to get the best opportunities for the upcoming year, I do suggest to take advantage of deal number 4. All the deals are available in the chat right now.
Yeah, and you're probably going to ask us, what do you suggest us? What do you suggest buy? So, Yaron is a fund of the top 10 package, combining with the AI portfolio. That's his choice for the following month. I'm suggesting to actually combine the report and the AI portfolio together. Also, I think Russell 3000 and small caps will be a really interesting combination for getting a long period investment with monthly period investment and even daily or weekly investment from the Russell 3000. So this is our choices for today.
Okay. Ben mentioned that one of my favorite packages is the top 10, and this is true. I do like this package because it's not only providing us opportunities from the entire US market, it's also providing us very important indicator that can assist us to manage the risk. It's providing daily S&P 500 forecast, and here we can see why it's so important. On the beginning of the year, on March 27 this year, we could see that the AI was basically predicting negative trend for the S&P 500. We can see it on the right of this slide. We can find the S&P index in the middle of this table with the red within the red cell, and the strongest signals basically came from the bottom of this heat map, meaning that the market's supposed to go down. We have two indicators: a negative focus for the S&P, and also the fact that the strongest signals came from the bottom. And on the right side, we can see how critical and how important was this prediction, because in the next 14 days, the market went down by almost 8%. And here we can see the performance of the stocks, assuming that you could have go short on those stocks. But even if you move to cash during this period, it could be very important element that can help you basically to manage the risk. It's not happening that often, but it's happening from time to time, and it's important to monitor this indicator. On the left side, we can see that it happened also in previous years. For instance, on March 2020, or by the end of February 2020, before the Corona crisis, we got a very interesting signal indicating regarding the negative trend that is upcoming basically in the market. Now let's continue. So it's part of the top 10 package. You're getting opportunities for the long side, daily forecast for the S&P 500, which is really important. So please use it in order to manage the risk and monitor the S&P 500 prediction on a daily basis. I see some institutionals in the crowd. For institutionals, basically we are providing comprehensive exposure to the AI algorithm. First, more universes, basically level 1 forecast, level 2 forecast, ETF predictions, and also the ability to drill down into different sectors on a daily basis, basically. On top of that, we are also providing to institutional systematic trading strategies. In the previous webinars, you could see several strategies that focusing on sectors, basically identifying the best sectors among the 11 leading sectors in the US market, and basically picking the best 3 sectors from the 11 sectors in the US market. And we have developed a new additional strategies during the last year. that doing the very same exercise for the Magnificent Seven stocks. So every month, the AI is suggesting is building long or short portfolio and focusing on the best three sectors and also on the best Magnificent Seven stocks. And why it's important? Why it's important? Here we can see basically that only two Magnificent Seven stocks beat the S&P 500 in 2025. Only Google and NVDA managed to outperform the market during the recent year. We can see that Google had 66%, NVIDIA at 39%. By the way, the two stocks were chosen by the AI in the previous report. So it's the first. It's interesting to see that. But we can see that other stocks such as Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, Apple, and Amazon were lagging behind. And this is exactly the idea behind this strategy. Every month, the AI is picking the best Magnificent Seven stocks out of the seven Magnificent Seven stocks, and also the best three sectors. We are applying the very same logic that we are using in our sectorial strategies into the Magnificent Seven stocks that are so large now that are almost have the very same market cap of the leading sectors in the US. And here you can see the performance during the last more than 5 years already. Since 2020, we can see the outperformance of this strategy every year, basically 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. So basically, for those institutionals, we are providing, on one end, daily prediction with the best opportunities. Again, they are getting larger exposure to the AI. And on the other end, they are also receiving a monthly portfolio based on this strategy or other strategies that they can choose. And we have several interesting strategies that we have developed. And here we can see the recent portfolios from the last year. We can see how in April, by the end of April, the AI picked XLC, XLY, XLK among the leading sectors, technology, telecommunication, and consumer discretionary. And from the Magnificent Seven, we see here Amazon, Google, Meta, that outperformed the market over this period. The market moved up by 5% over this period. And we can see that the selection of the AI was really, really powerful. It managed to outperform the market with all the selections here. 100% of the selection had outperformed the market over this interesting month. More than that, we can see here additional examples from the last month. We can see how the AI managed to pick Google right on time, right? Then on August 20. And it's very interesting. It's all about identifying the best Magnificent Seven stocks out of the entire universe. Yeah, we can see also the recent portfolio here from November up until today. Very interesting. By the way, Ben, Amazon is jumping today. So it's interesting to see that. And it was also part of this portfolio, and we have a rebalancing tomorrow.
Yeah, and more than that, we talked about XLF and showed you that it's actually in the portfolio since August, and one of the leading sectors that the algorithm gave us. We can find it in August, we can find it in November, we can find it in December. XLF was one of the leading sectors of the algorithm, and we're seeing those shifting and a large movement of money to the financial sector. And it is interesting to see that the algorithm identified 3 months ago already. So if some of you have institutional clients in the crowd, please approach us by the mail or through our website. We'll be happy to find some strategy that fits you or build some strategy, customized strategy to your needs. All right. So before we're gonna see the best stocks out of the Max 7, which stocks you think is gonna be the best out of the Magnificent 7, is gonna perform the best from the big 7 stocks in 2026? We're gonna see it in a minute. I'll just let you know we have a few more packages, such as the crypto package. For whom are interested in crypto pairs, we have more than 4 crypto packages with the double update like 2 updates on a daily basis. We have some premium packager from the crypto universe. We also have the world indices package and the commodity package, in which we saw the silver and gold and uranium and many other interesting commodities that are looking good for 2026. It is also available in our website, and also the currencies package. All right, so before we're going to see the best stocks of 2026 from the Magnificent 7, I'm going to just show you quickly again the sales that we have. 1+1, the first webinar sale with $299 per month, no commitment. You can cancel it anytime, just to try and try the service and see how the algorithm works. You can try it with this webinar sale. The second one is the AI best stock picks for 2026, the full report with $99 one-time payment, and have a huge discount for the next 24 hours. The third webinar sale is the AI powered portfolio. If you want to get the best stocks out of all our packages every 4 weeks, this is the webinar sale for you guys. A updated portfolio once a month, and you get the best AI picks every 4 weeks. And if you want to enjoy all the worlds, get our inclusive deal, the premium package that actually you get the annual AI report, you get the monthly AI powered portfolio, and you can choose 2 packages and change them every month. And you get all of that with $399 per month, paid every 12 months. This deal includes everything that you need for 2026. If you want to focus just on 2 out of those 3, you can also get it in the webinar sale. You can choose the annual report and the AI portfolio, or mix 2 out of those 3 products. You got all the links in the chat. You will also have them in the website. And those are the best picks that we said. Yaron chose top 10. I chose this combination of Russell, maybe 2026 report with the AI powered portfolio. I think it's gonna work pretty good in 2026. And again, if you wanna join our WhatsApp community, please scan the QR code and join for free. And we are giving their forecast and AI article. So before we're going to answer some questions, let's see which of the Magnificent 7 is going to be the best for 2026. And Yaron has actually given us the spoiler in the beginning of this webinar, but to whom of you who didn't guess, this is NVDA. NVIDIA has the strongest signal out of the Magnificent 7 right now, and it looks quite promising for 2026. So NVIDIA by the algorithm looks pretty strong for the following year. All right, question.
Okay, so There are questions whether we are providing daily prediction for commodities, which are really promising right now for the upcoming year. Yes, we do all of it. It's part of the selection in the annual deal that we have here. So we're providing basically daily prediction for over 60 different commodities, including silver, gold, aluminum, oil, crude oil. So it's
Uranium.
uranium, yeah, uranium, and also agricultural commodities. So it's basically part of the commodities package in the very same way that we are identifying opportunities in the stock universe. We're doing it in the commodity universe. So it's part of that. And also the report is going to include a dedicated section that will highlight the best commodities that we do see right now that are the most ones that are relevant ones for the upcoming year. So stay tuned. It's going to be released over the next few days. Okay, I think we showed several examples, multiple examples during this webinar. Yeah, one, there is a question about the predictability. Well, quick tip or my tip for this webinar, take advantage of the predictability indicator, use it, focus on the most predictable asset. Even if you're trading for the short term, please go over all the different time frames, consider the predictability and the signal of the different assets, try to combine them. This is what basically we're doing in the 1 year report. We're focusing on the most predictable asset from the 1 year, and we're trying to combine them with strong signal. So you can do this exercise by yourself as well. Always take into consideration the longer time frame, even if you're using the AI algorithm for short-term trading. It's very important to verify that your stock is here to stay, not only for the short term, but also for the long term. Any additional questions that you see, Ben?
Yeah, I think we answered the majority of the questions during the webinar.
I agree. There is a question until when the deals are available, Ben?
24 hours. So use that 24 hours deal. After that, going back to the original prices. And so you have it in the links in the chat, and you'll have the sales in the website. So use those discounts. And thank you for being with us in the 2026 webinar. I hope it was useful for you, and we saw some trends and the sector that's going to be interesting in 2026. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Yaron.
Thank you, Ben, for very interesting webinar. And good luck to all of you guys in the upcoming year. We do see some promising opportunities. Please make sure that you're taking advantage of those opportunities in the upcoming year.
Using our technology.
Using our technology. Okay, guys.
Bye-bye.